I love Papa because he always he's always so nice, and he always invites us to his house.
He's always super generous, and he's always willing to do whatever you want him to do, and he's always willing to just play with you or play a board game with you or just talk with you if you want to.
Very honest, very classy,
gentle, funny, happy.
He's always generous, and he shares his money with everybody.
He cares so much about his family. That's always top priority.
Papa's really good at singing.
He's just quietly sets a really good example all the time.
I love that he's always generous to everybody and makes sure everybody gets a turn in everything when everybody plays and stuff like that.
Papa really is always optimistic.
He's very easy to talk to.
Very, very easy to talk to.
Great.
Unless you're sharing jokes like polar bear jokes, then it's not so easy.
Always has my favorites on hand, which is awesome. If there's rolls at dinner, he always has me eat like at least 10 or 12 of them. And there's always my favorite cookie dough ice cream in the freezer. He always makes sure there is plenty for me to eat.
He's so encouraging that he makes me feel that I can do anything at any time.
I never doubt that my dad loves me.
So supportive. Just loves being involved in his kids' lives, and Dad, that's just the best.
I admire the way that Dad is careful with his media consumption because he recognizes that has an impact on the ability to be close to the Spirit.
He's a very handsome man, which I can say because I hear a lot of people say I look just like him, so congratulations and thanks.
He has helped us just a billion times over with just great advice and great counsel and mainly just the spirit to find out the answer on my own, which is big.
Doesn't let his weariness show. He always just keeps up the energy.
His unapologetic righteousness. That's something that I have always admired about him, even maybe when as a kid I didn't understand it or appreciate it. It's something I've grown to really admire more and more as time has gone on.
And I really have learned from him that having a life centered in the gospel can really help you a lot.
I know that the Sunday is just the most special day of the week, and I can tell that by how you clean it up so nicely every Saturday and prepare so well for Sunday.
I'm blessed every day because of the influence that he had on Vanessa.
And I love his relationship with his daughter, with Joanna, and how much that means to her and our children. He's an incredible man.
It's not all about just money or things, he just wants to help people and be happy doing it.
I like that he does his blessings every week, even though wears them out.
Family is the number one thing to him, which is why I think the gospel has been so important to him, because it is about family.
Dad has taught me to love everyone and to always trust in my Heavenly Father and to always strive to do my very best and then be happy with my very best.
What's admired about Dad is his relationship with each of his kids. They all respect him deeply.
He did everything that he knew to do to create an environment in which the Spirit of the Lord could be present.
Very few people I've ever met that have been closer to the Spirit than Papa.
I love it when Papa tells us awesome Bible stories at night when we sleep over. It's really awesome. I like to wrestle with him when he's feeling good.
I like you, Papa, because you're always nice and you always let me play with your toys whenever I want. I like to tell jokes to me.
I love it when Papa sings songs to me when we sleep over at his house.
I like it when he takes us on fun trips because they're always exciting and extra fun.
Oh, he reads me stories.
I really like to play the board game Othello with him. He originally was the one who taught me that game, and I really like it. And he's my favorite one that I like to play it with, even though he always wins.
I love when Papa pushes me on the swing.
The best thing is when we read books together. He lets me climb in his lap while we read books.
Play with toys with him.
He just tickles me.
He always wants to come to our soccer games or basketball games or volleyball games.
I love it in the autumn when he lets us come over to his house, make huge piles of leaves and jump in them.
One of my fond memories is when I asked him if I could marry Joanna, and so nervous, I was so nervous. And he just let me speak and talk and share my feelings, and then asked me if I loved her. And that was easy to answer.
And I really enjoyed talking with Papa during dinner time. That was one of the favorite things I did with Papa on the cruise.
We did like a lot of things and we ate all the good dinner and all the good chicken, and I liked that chicken because it was so good that I ate it all night.
Dad's always been good at calling just to check in, and sometimes calling a lot. Each time when I was expecting one of my babies, Dad would call every day, sometimes twice a day, to see if there's been any progress. But I had to tell him, just wait. I will call you, I promise.
Well, on the cruise, it was pretty much fun to just hang out with him all the time for a week.
When we played cards and he had 12 cards in his hand when he was only supposed to have 4. When we were playing spoons, yeah, that was my favorite.
Just spent spending a long time like playing board games and that kind of thing.
We went snorkeling in the middle of the ocean and we saw all the coral and cool fish.
It makes me feel loved and special.
I've always just felt like I was part of the family.
He makes me feel special, and he makes me feel like I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
Is always doing everything to make me feel as comfortable as possible. Sometimes too comfortable, making me almost feel like a guest.
Very, very, very secure.
It's impossible to be sad around Papa. He always cheers you up and makes you be happy.
He always points out the good things I'm doing and makes me feel much better than I did before I talked to him. He makes me feel like I'm on the right path.
He makes me feel happy whenever he's around me.
Welcomed with open arms is what it is.
Dad makes me feel special. He makes me feel like I'm his favorite. I probably am. I'm pretty sure. Sorry. And he makes me feel like I can do anything.
One of my favorite memories of Dad growing up was just the amount of time we spent just talking about random things, about anything. It was great to feel like I had a voice that was being listened to, that Dad valued my opinion and that he valued the time that we'd take together to
One
just
of my
talk about
memories
things.
was as a little girl sitting on the stairs waiting for Dad to come home from work, and it seems like I had Joanna and Mindy next to me, so I must have been at least 5 or so, and when Dad would come through the door, he would have a big smile on his face and was picking us up and giving us hugs and kisses, and he was Dad from the time he was home till bedtime.
When I was a kid, I loved going to BYU games with Dad, And as a kid, I always thought it was because I liked the halftime show. But really, I just liked being with Dad. I loved being with Dad. I would drop everything to go to a game with him.
On vacations, he would always scout out churches to go to. I don't think I remember a single vacation that he didn't at least make a valiant attempt to get us all wrangled up on Sunday morning and go to church.
That he would take time to like throw the ball back and forth in the backyard. Loved it. I just loved it. And every time I do it with my kids, I kind of get a little choked up like, oh, this is cute. I used to do this with my dad. And playing basketball. Once we got that basketball hoop, he and I were out there a lot shooting hoops, and that was awesome.
I have great memories of bedtime and getting our back scratched and having him close the closet door and sing us songs, and it seems like that just went on and on. And even when he said it was time to go, he would stay if we begged him for one more song or one more back scratch or whatever it was.
His classic look of disapproval when something had come on TV or anything was just even slightly not 100%. He'd get the the grumble. All the kids, we all know about it.
I loved Christmas shopping with Dad. We would go to ZCMI for hours, several nights in a row sometimes, to shop for Grandma and Mom. And he always had specific things he wanted to get them. And I loved Christmas shopping with Dad. Just me and Dad.
Just remember in high school doing band and tennis and everything, he would want to be at literally everything. And as a percussionist, sometimes I'd try to explain to him that, Dad, I literally have about 3 measures worth of notes on the triangle in the back, and the rest of the time I'm just sitting. And he would say, I want to be there. I want to be there for that.
He used to take us over to the Westridge Park and fly kites, and I loved it. And I remember it was chilly because it was windy, and so I'd take my windbreaker and we'd go fly kites for a long time, and he never got frustrated, and he never was like, guys, are you done yet? He was going at it. He wanted to keep going, and usually we were the ones that stopped first because we'd run out of steam before he did, which I loved.
I also just loved all of his little mannerisms and sayings. Anytime he'd ask me to take out the garbage, it wasn't garbage, it was garbage. We would always be whooping up some pancakes on Saturday mornings, or he always, I remember anytime he'd make spaghetti, Dad makes spaghetti for dozens of people, even when there's only 3 of us at home, or he eats a lot of spaghetti. Dad loves spaghetti.
He and Mom would always look at my best qualities and ignore all the other ones. And that gave me a lot of confidence, because I knew that they believed in me.
His name would be Captain America.
I would call him Super Perspective Man, because he has the best perspective of any person I've ever met.
His name would be Super Grandpa, and his power would be
Making the best pancakes ever.
The best denominator, and take people on awesome trips.
Solve the problem, man.
I don't know what the uniform would look like on this, but he'd probably be like Mr. Peace. How would that look? Like spandex on Papa with the big P, but he would be Mr. Peace, probably, yeah.
His name would be Super Papa, and he would have Superman's powers.
Master of mediation.
He would be generous man. He could have as much money as he wanted. He would never run out of money to spend on him and his wife and for his grandkids.
I'll have to draw out the spandex thing and see how that goes.
You would have a really, really long rope, which is gold, and it makes people be kind.
He could swoop in and resolve differences between angry parties Faster than a speeding bullet.
And his power would be throwing the shield like a frisbee.
He would have faith of steel.
According to me, Papa already is a superhero, and his power is to cheer people up.
I love you.
I love you, Papa.
I love you.
I love you, Papa.
Keep being a great grandpa.
I love him.
I love you, Papa. And I really like you because I like your bed.
I'm so lucky to have had you to raise my sweet husband that I have now.
I love you, Papa.
I love you, Papa.
Just want to say I love you and happy Father's Day.
I love you.
We love you, Papa!
Do you love Papa?
Yeah.
I hope I'm gonna be as good as a father as you were.
I love you, Dad. And it feels really right and comfortable to call you Dad. And I've always been very grateful for that.
You are really special to me.
I'm gonna say that I love him and that he's awesome.
I really love you, Papa, and I am so glad that I got to have you as the best grandpa ever.
I love you. You're the best. Every daughter deserves to have a dad like you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you, and I hope you know how special you are to us.
No other dad could have been a better dad to me than you. And I love you.